Liverpool, deluded, I'm back again. YouTube's N'Golo Kante and them things. Why I'm moving the table left, right and centre, I have no clue, people. But I'm back again. Good evening, like I said, and it's a pleasure each and every time that you tune in repeatedly. If you're coming here for the first time, then you might as well hit the subscribe, because you know I do this thing, and like in the most humblest way, that's why you're here. You go to all them other channels and platforms and people to get your entertainment, but when you actually want something to take away from things and to change your thinking, you come to DG. So let's crack on. Now, I urge patience with Gabriel Martinelli, people. I'm not just him, the Sakas, all of these players, youngsters that are not even at Arsenal. I think in today's day and age, the word potential is the greatest killer of footballers, because I do think we put players in a pedestal, or we judge them to such high standards. As fans, we get carried away in that, and it just becomes a bit mad in a sense of, and it's been happening probably since Cesc Fabregas and Rooney, in my opinion, because obviously they're players I saw at length. But people say Rooney didn't fulfill his potential, as crazy as that sounds. So I'm not saying he did, I'm not saying he didn't. I'm saying the perceptions. Obviously it's fair, we want players to do well, but we get gassed. Kylian Mbappe, incredible young player, going to be an incredible footballer. He's already accomplished a lot in his career. World Cup winner. By the time he's 27, God knows what sort of trailblazing path he will leave within football. But potential for him. Why did he go? Is he a... Well, for me, he is, but is he worth the fee he went for? No, but PSG pay that bulk of the fee because of the person he's going to be tomorrow. You look at, not to dig out United or anything, but Martial. Why did he go for an expensive fee? Because he's a good young player seen with potential. It's completely different, but Rashford is even judged to unhigh standards at times. It's fans, we love it, but we need to remember players are developing. But for me, it's difficult not to get gassed off Martinelli. We still don't know... Well, he's the closest thing in this Arsenal side to consistent between him, Leno and Aubameyang. But we still don't know if he was to play 10 games in a row, what we'd get from him. So we need to, myself included, calm down a bit, innit? Because he's a good player. He will have bad games. I mean, I ain't seen a bad game from him as such since he's been here. But I love him. Passion, Brazilian, just gets it, really. Forget age. He's good enough. He's got the aura that he's ready for this thing. I think he's a striker long-term, people. Now, I've put the back five of the opposition. I can't lie, I can't be bothered to put the stand-up, people. Allow me, man. I'm tired. 60th minute, DG needs a substitution. I'm tired now, man. My standards are dropping. But standard 4-4-2, people. Really, every player is irrelevant apart from Martinelli. I think this is Martinelli long-term, people, personally. I think that's Martinelli. Right now, he's obviously playing on, well, give or take. We've seen him play through the middle, previously under EMERY. Right now, well, he started on the left with Aubameyang and whatnot. If Aubameyang was to leave and other things were to happen, listen, let's not put ridiculous pressure, because if Aubameyang and Lacazette leave, we're going to need to bring in a striker. But you're looking at Martinelli, potentially Eddie Nketiah, potentially Tyrese John-Jules being able to step up. Like in an ideal situation, but there's a lot of possibilities in regards to Aubameyang and Lacazette, and I don't really want to speak about it in this vid, but I've mentioned it. We either keep both and they sign new deals, or Lacazette leaves. First one, Lacazette was to go. If Lacazette leaves, first things first, we can talk about bringing in a goal-scoring winger, but I still think even if we bring in a winger, we need two strikers, whether that's a top forward and someone that's able to step up. Do you get what I'm saying? If we sell Lacazette, we probably have to bring one in. But in terms of that second to first choice striker of a certain quality and able to do something, you're throwing Martinelli, potentially the names I've said after Martinelli in that. Whether they can hit potential and step up's another thing, but you're looking at that. The same logic applies to Aubameyang. Now, for me, Lacazette's a great player, but from a tactical manager's point of view, if Aubameyang was the one to leave, I'd be slightly more vexed. Purely because as incredible as Lacazette is, goals and assists, and he was our player of the season last year, people, let's not forget. Aubameyang, whatever you shape it, he's scoring 20 league goals. And Arsenal have been poor this season. But how many times have we said, where would Arsenal be without Aubameyang's goals? We'd be in the Championship already. Might even be playing Barnet in non-league based on the form we've been playing in. Do you get it, people? Banter aside. I'd be more vexed about Aubameyang leaving because, like I said, in August going into a new season, or you need to be able to look at your side, okay, these two are going to get me, these two are my centre-halves. Together with the fullbacks, they're getting my clean sheets. My striker, top striker, 20 league goals minimum. That's him pulling me through it. Then he's not always going to be at it. So you need someone that can chip in. Potentially Lacazette is the plan B striker, people, off topic. Because I love Lacazette. I think he's a good player. I think people are writing him off. But reality is, we know there was times he wasn't playing 90 minutes and getting subbed and injuries. But if he was able to get 20 league goals, would Aubameyang arguably be at this club, people? We have to pick that one because Aubameyang did come in and he's almost lapped him. Do you get it? Lacazette's got quality, but if it comes to a push, and for now we found balance with one striker, but Lacazette has a part to play, but he's plan B. Obviously, there's another scenario if Aubameyang and Lacazette both leave. We definitely would need to bring in a striker, but then you'd have to review Eddie Nketiah and potentially Martinelli. For me, I want Martinelli regardless to be this. I see him as that Alexis Sanchez false. Now, you know Alexis was a bad boy at Barcelona. When he came Arsenal, for me, he improved even more. Trophies don't correlate, but look at him as at Barcelona with Messi, great player. But because of what he had to take on at Arsenal and being the central player, he actually developed people. That's one thing Wenger got spot on. You can actually hear Alexis talk about becoming a striker out and out, and how Wenger was telling him to stay in these yards. Van Gaal also told Rashford that as well. Van Gaal's a great coach. But I see Martinelli as that man, that pressing, that aggression. Like, you got your two wingers and you got Martinelli. He's there, man. He's a striker, but he's a false nine that he's dropping in and whatnot and stuff like that. In an ideal world, this is why probably we need another striker, because at times, like you saw with Alexis, if there's no focal point or it's not a game like that, you allow the opposition to get higher up the field. You see why you need a squad of 26, and you need, whether it's going to be a Giroud, like a plan B. I see why Giroud's in the French team, because he might be poor, but it gives them something different. Every individual player within your squad, give and take, needs to have different qualities, especially, well, more so the attackers, because there's games for pace, there's games for intricacy. But in an ideal world, I would like Arsenal to get back to when we had Alexis, this being Martinelli now, two wingers, and obviously a striker. And you want to be in a world where, similar to Liverpool, where everybody's rotating, people. Do you get it? You don't have to exclusively stay out there. And what you want to see happen is, because there's consistent movement, defenders don't know who to track, and then he might go and follow his man and think he's doing the right job. But what do you see, people? A gap to exploit. Now, if he does his job and if he does his job and reads that run and he does his job, then great. But let's just say the ball's played over the top and our fullback's gone. Obviously, I haven't got all the blue teams there, but what I would like is just some interchange in movement long term. Arguably, we're never going to get that with Aubameyang and Lacazette because they're two out-and-out strikers. But that's potentially where we have to go for me, people. Like, I just really want to see rotating movement, people making runs for the sake of it and then exploiting. And then it becomes a case of your midfield, people. Apologies, I'm getting a bit too gassed and excited, swinging this around. But then it becomes a case of our midfield. If we had a dynamic midfield, dynamism, you don't know the word, box to box, able to get up the field, you got your attacking fullbacks. I'm getting excited, people, because obviously I'm no Arsenal manager or whatnot, but for me, I like positive aggression. I'm a nice guy off the field, on the football field. I like pace, I like aggression, and through the scouting talent ID level 2 course I've become conscious of my biases, right and wrongly, and we've all got them in life, yourself included. But I like pressing and aggression. Football, listen, I personally think football's left poetry in motion. Them days are gone now. Them Bergkamp and Zidane and Ozil, they're terrific footballers, and there is still that. And in their primes, they could all play in today's market. But I think we need aggression. Arsenal, we love them cultured players, and we can have a few of them, but we need dynamism, tenacity all over the field. And I believe we can only get that with long-term, potentially one top striker or false nine, like I'd like Martinelli to do. And wingers, to be fair, goal-scoring winger, to be fair, to be honest. But regardless, I think you'd need two strikers. It doesn't have to be two top strikers. It just needs someone that can give you something different. You look at Chelsea. Tammy Abraham, who's scoring goals like Aubameyang, proves a lot of people, myself included, wrong in regards to his credentials. Whether he's able to go on and do this for Chelsea for seasons and seasons, that's another thing. But he's a bad boy. He's going to probably get 20 league goals. Do you not think Chelsea or Lampard is not tempted to bring in another striker? Whether that's fair or whatnot's another conversation. But what I mean is, you'd have that top striker, no disrespect to Tammy, is what I believe, because you wouldn't sign someone levels or worse than Tammy Abraham. You'd want someone better, innit? So they sign that top striker, and then you have Tammy. They can play together. Whoever earns the shirt earns the shirt. But there's also, if it comes to it, the top striker playing. Tammy, coming on when things need to change or other things are needed, people. Do you get it? I love Martinelli. And listen, we should make him our Alexis Sanchez, in my opinion. That when Alexis was playing number 9, I think that's Martinelli long term. Of course, he could still develop and play left wing. Sometimes, well, I swear you hear him say he prefers to play that inverted forward role, and you can't rule that out either, because like you saw against West Ham, he timed his run coming off that flank more. But I think for me, that's even more reason why I think he's a striker, because naturally he's drawn. A lot of young players, they're not necessarily drawn to going inside and being central. I think he's drawn to being inside. Like I said from pre-season, if he wasn't necessarily scoring the goal or had nothing to do with it, he was in and around the crime scene in terms of when we're scoring goals. So he's got that knack of getting in behind and thinking off the ball, on top of clearly a good personality and just being on this thing. What I like about him, away from me ranting and raving, is clearly he's got a positive attitude, and he doesn't think he's better than he is. He doesn't think he's better than the next man. He's very humble, and that's the difference. I mean, people will say Cristiano Ronaldo and actually Messi aren't humble, but they are. Mayweather the same, Muhammad Ali the same. They've got that positive bravado, but at the same time they've got that humbleness to know they're not better than the next man, and every day is a learning curve. You can say what you want about Ronaldo, if he didn't have that mindset, he would not be better, he would not be Cristiano Ronaldo, because he could have settled when he won one Champions League at Madrid, or when he turned into that sick player at United. He could have just said, I've done it now, but he wanted more. He was one of the best players training like he's the shittest. Pardon my language, people, my French. Do you get it? So it's down to the players to work, man. But for me, Martinelli, I still believe in Nelson. Happy birthday, he's turned 20. I believe he can be a player of some sorts to help Arsenal. I'm not saying world-class in these things for any of these players. Truthfully, I believe Martinelli can be a world-class footballer. That's you lot know me. I just believe that, innit? I fully feel like Arsene Wenger with Martinelli. I believe that. I believe Saka can be a good player. I believe Nelson can be a good player. I believe Emil can be a good player. Whether they make it here is another thing. But that's what I believe. Even Martinelli, you can't rule out in a mad world. God forbid, say he plays well now and never plays well again. Or he gets injured and he never gets going again. There's no, God forbid, touch all the wood, because I love Martinelli, but these are possibilities. So we need to take it easy with him. But it's difficult, man, for me as well, because I love him. I believe him, Guendouzi, the young G's coming from the academy, the early, like I said, the teenagers to mid-20s, just within the squad. We should be looking to what we're going to do specifically with them. What is Martinelli going to be? Number 9. What is Joe sort of midfielder is he going to be? What's Saka? What's Nelson? What's Emil? Do you get it? Because no disrespect to Ox when he was here, because he's gone on to do good things. Wilshere as well. I love him. And I love our guy Aaron Ramsey, who's a box-to-box midfielder. But for years, each and of these players, even Theo, you throw him into that. For years, it's, oh, nah, he's this, nah, he's that. Even Iwobi to a degree, we know he's a midfielder, but he plays on the left. He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. And we got to a point with Ox and the rest of them young G's where they were good players, and I love them people. I miss every one of them. I want them all to come. No, not Theo, I'm not going to lie, I miss Theo, but the rest of them, Theo can stay where he is, but the rest can come back, even though he'll still be mediocre. But we got to a point where, like, we don't know what we're getting with these guys. We don't really know what they are in terms of their position. We know their position, but what are we? We knew Ox was going to be a central midfielder long term either way, people. But at Arsenal, it was, are you a winger? What midfielder are you? He obviously did a good job at fullback. There was talk of that. You've even got, well, I believe Maitland-Niles can be a good squad player, but he doesn't want to play fullback. He did good on the weekend, but what is he going to be? It's difficult because we're trying to get back as a team, but my point is we should be, all of these players that I've listed, or the criteria I've said, we should have them in a hat or have them on a board, and each specific player, we're looking at short, long and medium term, both what we want them to be tomorrow and how that's going to fit into our team long term, on top of needing immediately a centre-half and centre-mid. Until we get this thinking on, we were going to forever be at the mercy of hoping for a manager to do a madness at this club, which isn't going to happen. Everybody needs to be forward-thinking, which I believe to a degree the club are, but listen, we didn't get to where we are as a football club overnight, and nobody was at fault single-handedly, but this is my point, people. On that note, I've really overstayed my welcome. I'm missing the Champions League. How many minutes have I missed? 10 minutes in, people. I need to get out of here. Thank you for watching. DG.